Hi, this is MIcornus Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. I want to embark on a very important topic today. I want to speak about some skills that life demands from you every day, but yet you cannot learn at school. These are skills that you cannot learn from school, but yet life demands you to be having those skills every day. And majority of us are actually lacking those skills because no school has taught us and no formal education has taught us, but life demands that from us every day. And I want to empower you as a young man because on this platform we are developing ordinary young men into extraordinary men of wisdom, integrity, and character. And we're doing this through kingdom principles. And I hope that this topic will help you. And I want to embark on this topic just for the next 5 days or so. And that will be very important for you. Now, the first skill that life demands from you, but yet you've never learned from school, is what we call money management and managing money, how to manage money. And that's something that's very key because as much as you may go to financial management school and they teach you about finances and so on, but that still doesn't teach you what we call money management. Now, money management is actually how do you handle your money? Because sometimes you may actually not even go to school for that, but you need to be handling money in a manner that is different. Now, I want to emphasize that money is handled based on your character. Because the character is actually dictating basically on how you use your money. And that's very important. So therefore, from this angle, I want to emphasize that you need to build your character. You need to make sure that your character is not that which is easily influenced. And I want you to understand that sometimes we are influenced and influenced to an extent that we're influenced by money. Whereby money decides for you what you should do at a particular time. But when you've got an inner strong character, which is a basis, which is the foundation of your life, you'll not be driven to certain directions because you've got money. And that is the reason that I always say to people that there are some of the things that we do purely because we are not having a character. We are driven by money. And I always say that there are things that are evil that are actually needing money to be financed and to finance them. There are those evil things that we do because we've got money. And that's the reason why it is very important to have a foundation of character. And I want to emphasize this because money management then speaks to that character. That you will manage money better when your character is actually more stable. When you've got a foundation that you can fall on. There are things that you are able to say no to. There are things that you are able to say yes to based on basically your discipline that you have. Now remember that discipline, you cannot be taught discipline from school, and therefore you cannot be taught actually how to handle money actually from school, because if your character is not right, you'll end up actually not being able to handle your money still, even when you are from a financial management school, even when you've done accounting on the stuff, and you've got a degree, you've got a chartered accounting and so on as well. So managing money is something to do with the character, and we want to emphasize from this angle today that it goes with the character, and your character dictates on how to use money. You must realize that somebody without a proper character, foundation of a character, if you give them money, you're actually just magnifying that evil character that they have, because they will continue even doing much more worse based on the money that they have. And this is very important that we emphasize that. So we are taught to earn money, but we are not taught actually how to manage it. And therefore, it's very important that every single way of you actually pull to the direction of saying, as much as I'm taught how to earn money, I must be able to develop a way of handling money, which comes with the character. We are not taught how to budget it as well. And budgeting money, you may actually say, I'm from school, I know how to budget money and so on. But it goes further than that. It goes deeper than that. So therefore, it's very important that you understand that even though you may have been taught to budget, if your character is not right, you're not going to be able to budget properly. Now, investing money, what a discipline is this one? Because the discipline of investing money is not easy. Because money is like having a voice of saying, use me now. and use me and without delay. And therefore, you find that instead of investing money, everybody want to use the money right now. It's a skill that school cannot teach you. You definitely need to be having a character to handle that. Now, it's very important also that when you spend money, you spend it wisely. Now, wisely is for the things that will be able to bring another money. Because most of the time, we're splashing money in things that are benefiting us not. Because when you start to splash money in useless things that are not benefiting you, you are actually not going to recover that money. So right people would actually do what we call investment. They'll actually make sure that the money where they use it is somewhere where the money will return back, or the money will actually multiply as well. Now, the other skill that you're not learning from school, but yet the life is demanding it, is handling rejections. And I want to speak about this just for a moment. Now, many times we are living a life that we give to many people. We dwell amongst people. We associate with people. We socialize because we are social beings. But remember, because of that, then we want to be approved by people. Because we social beings, then we want people to authenticate us. We want people to actually to affirm us. And as a result, because of that, then we find it difficult then to handle rejections when rejections come. Life will give you a no many times, and sometimes when life gives you a no, do you know how to handle it? Do you know how to deal with a no from life? Do you know how to deal with a no from life when life is saying no to you? Now, that's very important. That school cannot teach you that. So schools don't prepare you for rejection by people, rejection in life. The school will not teach you that. And that's very important that we outline it here. That is very important that you develop skills of how to deal with rejections. Because learning to accept rejection, it builds something in you. So how do you learn to accept rejection? One is you need to understand that rejection is there. Not everybody will say yes to you. Not everybody likes you. Not everybody actually appreciates you. Now, because of that, then you'll have people that will reject you. Sometimes you get into relationships, and while you're in relationships, the people eject you from the relationship, or they actually walk away from you, and it looks like they're rejecting you. And sometimes also the rejection comes from the basis of the family. There are people that are out there. As a young man, you might have been rejected by your own family, by your own parents, mother, your father, even your brothers and sisters. And you feel so rejected to an extent that you feel unworthy in life. Now, I know there are people like that. I know you are in situations like that. But I want to tell you today that this is not a skill that we learn from school. It's a skill that you can develop with every day of your life, with a decision that you tell yourself, I'm going to understand that the rejection is there, but I'm not going to take it personal. And immediately you don't take rejection personal, you develop what we call resilience. Now, resilience is that ability of being tough like tick, that strong mentality of saying, even though they reject me, but I'm still alive. Now, it is very important, therefore, to use this mechanism of saying, even though people reject you, they've not taken away your life. You're still alive. So therefore, you're still having a chance to succeed in your life, even when people said no. When the doors are shutting before you, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the day, because there's still a life ahead of you to live. So that's the mindset that one should actually develop when you are being rejected. Because life demands that a strong mentality of handling rejections, even when people, and looks like everybody's rejecting you everywhere. But I want to emphasize that life will demand that, but school have not taught that to you. So therefore, it is very important that you develop that resilience. That resilience of going through several rejections, but still standing tall. Still saying, I cannot fall down on my face. And still saying, there's still tomorrow. And still saying, I can rise up from this rejection. And I know, as I speak right now, some of you have just been rejected sometimes through divorces. in marriages. Some of you have been rejected in partnerships of business. Some of you have been rejected, as I said, from your own family, where they rejected you until they chased you out of the family home. And there are some of you who are going through that. But despite of the rejections that you meet, you must be resilient enough. You must thank God that you're still alive. You must be able to refresh and revive yourself and say, but I can still rise up and rise from where you are. Because in real sense, when you fall down physically in life, you don't lie down there forever. You generally rise up and you remove the dust from your body. You rise up and walk as if nothing has happened. And you always sometimes make sure that you walk in a way that even those that didn't see you may not even be aware that you're falling along the way. Rejection is the same. When people reject you, stand up tall and say, I'm not going to actually subject myself to this or lie down and feel like it's the end of the day. It is not. There are people that when they are rejected, they even feel like committing suicide. I'm saying no to that. No to suicide, because remember that there's still opportunity for you to live. Even though people reject you, God has not rejected you, because God is not rejecting anybody. So please remember that even though it's something that the world demands from us, we have not been taught from school, but we definitely need to experience that with life and develop. So emotional strength is very key. You need to be emotionally strong in everything that you meet and tell yourself, I'm going to stand and I'm not going to fall off on my face. Emotional strength then becomes very, very important in this frame. Now, you also need what we call ability to keep going. That resilience of keeping going even when it's difficult to do so. And it's possible. And there are those that can give you testimonies that in my situation, it was difficult, but I've managed to stand firm and become a person that stands, and I'm standing today because of that. I want to end up here today, your host, MIcornus Phokane. I'm the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. Remember, we are developing ordinary young men here into extraordinary men of wisdom, integrity, and character, and we are doing this through kingdom principles. And please remember our social media platforms, our Facebook page, Young Men Empowerment Forum, and my personal Facebook page, MIcornus Phokane. So please like those pages, follow us there. Our YouTube channel as well is under Young Men Empowerment Forum. So please make sure that you subscribe onto that YouTube channel. So click notification buttons. We have got also TikTok account, MIcornus Phokane, and also Instagram, MIcornus Phokane. So please follow us on those pages, click notification buttons as well. And we believe strongly that your life shall never be the same as you follow us on these platforms. Share these platforms with your loved ones and let it be inspiring to them as well. And the good Lord will bless you as you do that. Allow us to check out right here until we meet again with part 2 of this great topic. God bless you and cheers for now.